How you doing, everyone? Welcome to episode 12 of the Property Coaching Network pop-up podcast. My name's David Smart. I've got Adam Williams with me today, my sales team member, leader, whatever you want to call it, top biller.
Top biller.
This is the first podcast we've done in 2025. Purely the reason is it's one of the things, like, you just get so busy. People get so busy doing, obviously, different multiple businesses going on and different things happening, buying a lot for ourselves this year, which is what we're going to sort of talk about here as well. But, you know, something has to fall by the wayside, and I've been a bit gutted we've not been able to, you know, kind of continue where we left off, where we were last year, sort of continue on for that. But we're here now, and we plan to get some really good guests on. So we thought a good sort of one to kick us off again halfway through 2025 was to get out to one of our flips where we are now in Kirkcaldy. Talk a little bit about what we've done here, the sort of relationship that we've formed and grown to get us here in the first place as well. And yeah, Adam will go into a bit about his background in the army, his transition for the army into property, how he's found that. Because what happens, you know, I found a lot of people that speak to me, they always ask about Adam. And obviously, if you've been following us on social media, you'll see he done his first 10 grand commission month. That's not, if you know us, you know, it's not a bragging thing to say 10 grand, look at us. It's more like his hard work and how he's done that. And the opportunity is really within the property industry. A guy that's came for the army into property in a sales role, being able to make that amount of money, it just shows you the opportunities in the industry, really, in an industry that does get kind of hit quite a bit, brought down quite a peg or two, I suppose, from certain people. But the opportunity is out there for everybody in property, whether you're just trying to get started, whether you're experienced, you know, and you're looking to buy or sell. Adam's now 11 months into working with me, and on flip number 3, obviously sold multiple deals, and obviously being able to make that sort of money. So it's absolutely brilliant. It's going to be great to hear. I'll probably hear a lot of stuff that I don't even know as well, which will be really good. But for the listeners and the viewers to hear just a little bit about Adam's background and how he made that transition, and hopefully it can relate to some of you as well and give you some advice and tips. So a wee bit of an update on Property Coaching Network in 2025. We're currently sitting at, I think it was about 165 members just now, so we've grown quite a bit again from the start of the year. We've went on a bit of a mission to get a lot of, you know, as much as there's a lot of beginners in the group, to get a lot of more experience in the group. So there's a good mix in there, but also to get some professionals in there, some property professionals that can help the group. So we managed to get Emma Ross in, who is Ross Commercial Finance, the bridging lender broker. Michelle Rankin, who's a solicitor that a lot of people use within the industry. We've got my accountant in there, Stuart Dunsmore. We've got the head surveyor of the west of Scotland, for Graham and Sibbald, Dom McCormick, in there as well. We've got an insurance broker, we've got an architect, we've got different trades in there, a damp specialist that's not going to rip you off as well. And just different people to help each other out. So the group has grown. It's been brilliant this year, to be honest. Been really, really happy with it. So what we've had so far, we had Q2 networking day. That went really well. We had Andy Mackay and Tony speaking. We've got another one coming up in August as well, just date to be confirmed for that. So it's been a lot happening. And hopefully you follow us on socials, you'll see the sort of stuff going on as well. So yeah, as I say, we've got Adam here, just to sort of talk about. What we'll do is we'll speak about Adam, his background, everything else, and transition into where we are. Obviously, we always pop up somewhere, as we like to call it. We're another project of myself and Adam's, but taking it back to the start, just for Adam, the background, you know, why you were in the army. So why, first of all, how did you get in the army? What made you want to go to the army? And yeah, take us through that.
Aye, so I guess a wee bit of background about myself, obviously for the listeners, like, there's very much normal upbringing, Glasgow, East End, you know, the same, like, Glasgow, East End upbringing that everybody else, like my age, back in the day would have had, you know what I mean?
What was that?
I'll not get into it, but, you know, it was good, enjoyed myself and everything else, and, you know, good household, great mum, great dad, brought up well, good upbringing, essentially, you know, but ultimately just kind of went on that career and all that path. I didn't like school. as soon as I could get out of school, going on to a course like youth build or whatever it is, wanting to put all the Neds on to get them like their tickets to go into a building site and be a labourer, like one of the ones. And then from there, bit of construction, and I worked for like the biggest groundworks construction company at the time, Advance, and he came onto the site and says, ask for like a 50 pence pay rise for a 5 like a 550, and he says there wasn't enough work, and sacked me, right? So, so that was just a nightmare, and I was like, what am I doing? And I always had this thing in the back of my mind about maybe joining the army, and that was it. And I was like, like 18, 19, and it was the time now, like, what am I actually doing with myself?
Right.
Let's go and have a pop at that. And it kind of, from there then, went on this kind of journey, and I just kind of made the application and then went to training. So
I still laugh at that, the course all the Neds going out of the welter. Aye, so I just went into the army, so initially when you get in there, what was that like, a bit of an eye-opener and stuff like that?
I think I was just I felt like a young boy who's still like living a young boy life, and when you go in, there's all these adults who have maybe been around the block a couple of times, 26, 30, and they're joining because they're not doing anything as well, so you're all the same level, but you're just the youngest guy there essentially, so it's making that, right, what am I going to do? And I remember my mum asking me, she said, what do you want to do? I'm just going to go infantry. Like, if I'm going to join the army, I want to hold a gun and I want to just do all the army stuff.
Yeah.
But you could do 101 different jobs, but that's just the way I seen it. Now I probably wish I did something else because it was the hardest job at them all.
Is it so? Do you actually go in there and then just like find your feet and decide what route you want to go down the army? Is that how it works?
No, so they'll usually be like, you'll go to the assessment centre for 2 days and you'll run a mile and a half, a few other bits and bobs essentially, and they say you go and do a test and you tap the screen and it's like 4 squares in a circle, how many squares was there, and you need to press, say, 4. Yeah. So it's like an aptitude test or something like that, and they say if you're joining infantry, just hit the screen, it doesn't matter. Right, so I was sound essentially. I was happy to go infantry, but if you want to go and be like a tanky, an electrician, do a trade, you had to get a certain point to score. So they were like, okay, you can go to training to be an infantry essentially, and this was like June. And I started, not August, sorry, and I started there in November for training, like a 6-month block of training.
So 6 months training, and then what is it, just off to Afghanistan or something like that?
No, so you'll do like your 6 months training down at Catterick, and that's you like, so I was like 18, had like 19 just when I started there, and I'd never been away from the house before, and that was 6 months, like just like you're away, a few weekends you can get back, and like maybe long weekends, holidays and all that kind of stuff, but that's just you do your 6 months training, they teach you how to literally everything from like wash to shave, like literally everything, so basically can get you into trouble if you've not done something properly, like I showed you how to shave, so like your weekends to look after you, one of the ones, and from there then you do your training, they'll grade you, see how well you've done. It doesn't really matter much, but it's like it's good when you go to your battalion. Like I got 2 Scots, so I was based in Edinburgh, which was good for me because I could come home at the weekend and do my own kind of personal life. Like people get shipped to Inverness and England and all that kind of stuff, so it was good for me. It suited my personal life, and family and all that kind of stuff. So went there, and then it's literally on cycles, so you would be training on a training cycle where you'd be going away, then you'd have a bit of cycle where you're on leave and holiday, but then you're back to doing more training to then deploy essentially. And then obviously I was in there for 9 years, and I'd been to like Afghanistan, Iraq, Kenya a couple of times, France skiing, so there's very much like a work hard but there's a play hard element to it as well. Like you can go into a day skiing for like 4 weeks, and then if you're good at it, it's another 2 weeks on tap, and that's like £300, they pay for everything. And
but for skiing, so they send you skiing?
They would send you skiing for like, they see it as they're building resilience and all that kind of stuff, because it's like you're going fast doing hills and they've got skiing structures and all that. It's a bit of a weird thing, but it's really good. And even though you go to all these different places, like I went to Kenya for like 8 weeks and then came back. I was home for 4 days, and then I went to France for 6 weeks. And then came back, and I came back for a week, and I was in the Wales for 4 months. But like that was a full period. Like,
so were you with your missus at that point?
No, so
don't worry.
I wasn't away here at that point. Obviously, I'd have probably been single if I was, because I was away that much. But that was probably one of the big things. Like, you're always away, and then when it got to a point, I was growing up and I was maturing into a different kind of life. Like, I couldn't be doing that.
100%. So what's different tours like Afghanistan and all that? Any of them sort of stick out? Anything just in the army at all? It sticks out to you like, oof, that was a bit of an eye-opener or anything like that in any one of your tours?
I think what's the biggest eye-opener for me is like when I relate it to the property industry, like, or else seeing the amount of money that people make in property, for even reading books, to like social media now, to like what's happening around me every day, or else even seeing people in the networks and all that, and people are making, you know, anywhere between 2 to 10 grand on deals, and I done 6 months in Afghan for a 5 grand tour bonus, you know, and I'm like, I literally, but if that's all you know, that's all you know.
Oh,
like,
of
I
course.
couldn't, I was spending 6 months out there and I was happy to extend because I was wanting more money. But I was doing that because I knew I was getting 5 grand and I was going to get to save up my money every month to go and, I can buy this and I can buy that. And I wasted all my money for Iraq because I was only like 19. Like, I bought a motor, holiday to Cancun, like pure living the best life, but then skint after a few months. But Afghan was a bit different because I saved up my money. I was like, right, I'm going to do something with this. But like, that's a big eye opener for me for what I was actually doing for money, which was a lot of money to myself at the time and to a lot of people. But what money is actually out there to be made?
Is it one of the ones though, when you're out there, you don't spend on anything? That's what it's like in offshore. Like you thought you're on a good package and a good salary, but really if you split it over like the full year, because you're away like 3 weeks, you maybe got the bills to pay and stuff, but you're not then spending on other shit. Do you know what I mean? So it's like you go back to all this money, but you think to yourself, but I'm away in again 2 weeks and 3 weeks, so it feels better. Do you know what I mean?
The first time I went away, I was just listening to too many people. My mum was like, you can't get rid of the motor, make sure you've got it insured, and I ended up spending loads of money on all my bills. But really the second time I went away, I got rid of the motor. I had no outgoings. I just used that time. Like, I rented my flat out. I was like locked in and made sure I was saving as much money as possible, because they feed you water, you need somewhere to live, you get extra money for being there, and you get a tour bonus at the end. So that was enough time, like 6 months or 7 months, and it was through COVID. So I didn't get home to see anybody. I'd just literally been going out with my missus for 3 months, and I was asking her to stick with me for 7 months, and she did. You know, hopefully I paid off for her, you know what I mean? But that's it.
So no, good. So sort of moving on a wee bit for when you're coming to the end. Like I've told this story as well. Like, see the game Football Manager. You played Football Manager.
Aye.
Right. So I played that through my full offshore career, and then the last 2 years I was like, why do I keep playing this game? There must be something else like I can do. I want to start a business. I want to do something. And I was like, this is a pure waste of time. So see, when you were at the army, when did that start for you? Like that kind of, I need to get away from here, and I need to go and do something else, basically.
See, the army's great because it gives you so much security, but it's too much security.
Aye.
Like, I was getting paid the same wage unless I was going away, and I was getting more. So I know I was getting, like, nearly back end of my career, I was just getting 40 grand minimum every month, like, kind of off
And that was
salary.
you no away in tours and that?
And
that was the training or something?
That was just my normal salary, and I was doing nothing for it. Like, literally, late start on a Monday, day on a Tuesday, half day on Wednesday, day on a Thursday, Friday off. Like, literally, you're working 3.5 days a week, and I was getting 40 grand a year. So that was so secure. It was so easy. But you also fall into the secure. You don't start wanting more because you've got such a cushy life. And then that's when I was thinking, like, I want more than this. But I was reading property books when I was like 20. I bought my first flat when I was like 21. I got the keys, so it was like kind of early in me that I started, but I was like kind of comfortable in where I was.
Was that buy to let? Was that 1 to 11?
No, so that was 1 to 11. 5% deposit, government help to buy scheme, just like making sure I got into 150 grand flat for like 7 grand. So it was like cushy, £300 a month mortgage, but then later on I remortgaged it and then rented it, let it out, sorry. But that was like my first kind of taste. So for a wee bit younger, I was like, all right, I can make a bit of money here and doing this, but I didn't really have the education to go, this is what I want to do. But I did read a book, but then I found out the cost was 3.5 grand, and I'm like, I was too tight at the time to pay that.
Is that false?
This was literally years ago, like so long ago. Read the book, and I remember messaging on Instagram before he was even that big. And then I was like, 3.5 grand for a course. I'm like, no chance.
I done it.
I wish I did.
I read the book and done it. So just talk about like sort of the transferable skills and why you actually wanted to leave the army. So what was the big why for you? And then, you know, when you moved over into working for Smart Sales and Investments, is there anything that you feel like you brought from the army, a totally different industry, into the new role in the business?
The main reason, the big why for me, like, leaving the army to go, right, what am I going to do next, was when I found out me and my partner were expecting. And that was like, I think, see, through life, you need to take lessons from people who's like kind of walked a path that you're currently on. And the big thing for them was, I go home for tour on my way and hits her knee, doesn't want to see me because I'm never there. And like, so I remember someone, Big Bunzy, told me that, and it was always in the back of my mind. And I always say to myself, as soon as if I'm ever going to have a win, essentially, I'll just get out, because I don't want to ever experience that, because I see how hard it is on other people. And it's just one of the lessons, like, I guess, like an indirect lesson that I learned, that I'm just so glad I took on board. And as soon as I found out, I just handed in my notice, which is a 12 months notice you need to give the army. And then that's you basically, you're leaving. And that's when I was like, what do I do now? And I guess I had to start thinking about what transferable skills do I have. But ultimately it was probably, what do I want to do? Because I was in the infantry, I just ran about with face paint on my face, pretending to play soldiers for years. So I was like, what do I actually do? It's like...
quite good that you're thinking like that though. What do I want to do, rather than, because what you've told me before is a lot of people come out and they don't have a clue what they're doing, and some of them actually end up back in the army because they just can't find anything to do.
It is such a sink or swim. People, like, especially infantry, it's like, I'm going to get out, I'm going to do private security, or they're going to go and do offshore, like just kind of the starting for the boat and work their way up. They're going to go like working rope access. Like, so many people do that, or else my pal does this, I'll get you a job, something like that. But for me, I wasn't reading books on how to be a joiner, electrician, offshore, all that kind of stuff. I was reading books on property, kind of self-development, rich dad, poor dad, like kind of wanting a wee bit more. So I was like, well, I could sit and lecture people about property all day, and I hadn't even done it yet. So I was like, I might as well go and kind of chance my arm at doing that. And obviously I'm glad. I remember just when I decided, I was like, I'm just going for it. You know, going on Indeed, maybe just talking to people at networking events, kind of dip my toe in the water. I think the first like Scottish property podcast, like networking event I went to was like last April, and I think I started with you a few months later. So I was like, I just kind of go, right, this is what's happening. Didn't really know what transferable skills I had. I guess maybe like I'd just maybe matured. I had been teaching people for 2 years. Like maybe confident, like life skills, speaking to people, being able to just coming down to a level. I was like working all around the world with different nationalities, being able to come to their level, you know, like 1 minute I'm a golf drink monster, the next minute I'm like working with a general somewhere, you know.
Because I didn't come for sales, but I've always said probably what made me good at sales was just being able to go to people's level. Doesn't matter if you're going to talk to somebody that's got loads of money with a big investor, or somebody that's really struggling and needs a house sold fast or whatever. Just being able to kind of manage that situation, I feel, was massive in this industry.
I know, I definitely agree. I feel like everybody I speak to, you've just got to be able to understand what they're wanting, especially, but then what is the situation, so you can kind of empathise with them as well. Empathy is such a big thing, I think.
100%. So moving into sort of, you started full time me 11 months ago in the role and everything like that. Most people kind of know. Do you want to elaborate on?
So obviously I was kind of on this path of looking for employment. I was off social media for a wee bit. So I came back on it, and I thought, I seen one of your posts. I thought, this guy looks as if he's doing all right.
So what post was it? Do you remember?
I can't remember. So I followed you, and then one day you put a story up, and I was thinking, you know, I'm just going to ping him a message on Instagram, and then obviously it just kind of took it from there. Done all right, and then we actually watching the videos now right here. Like, the videos are horrendous. When I was doing the videos, I remember, like, I think it was like a Thursday night or something. You're like, "I'll make you send these there." And it was like 6 videos of today, and I was like, right, I'm breaking these down into like individual videos at a minute a piece. I had this black t-shirt on, and the last one, my head was bursting with how long I was doing it, because I kept swearing, or else I'd be like, why did I say that? I'd watch it back so many times, and the next day I remember messaging saying, mate, by the way, I've had a bit of drama, I'll get the videos out of tomorrow. I just put the same t-shirt on, shut the blinds the same it was yesterday, and just done the last video, just because my head was absolutely bouncing thinking about it.
Funny, because see, when you say that, I remember you sending that message actually, and I remember thinking, not going to be that. Something like that, it's just not going to be him. And then in an interview, just for context, like when because I'm doing this again now, it's like you put you put the job out there and you get applications, and I like them to answer questions on a video, just to get a feel for the person. So I don't want to bring them all in and waste people's time and all that. So that's what Adam done, and he came in for an interview, and then it was just a case of, I can't even remember what you said in the interview, but it was just like, I just want to fucking work, mate. I just want to fucking do it. I just want a job, mate. I just want to do this. And it was like, I feel like you could just see in you, your pure enthusiasm for it.
I remember one line that I says was, I don't want to just come in here and answer emails and make teas and coffees. I just want to come in and do something. And I think that was probably just an enthusiastic sentence enough to go, right, this guy's probably doing all right.
Like, at the time, I knew I needed somebody, we needed somebody else in alongside myself and Alex, but we just didn't quite know. We thought Alex would be all right taking the sales and stuff. Somebody would come in behind him, maybe learn a bit. maybe make your teas and coffees,
Yeah.
emails and that. And then obviously day one, you self-generate a deal. Self-generate, was it?
Aye, so I had been like on the build up to starting, like just kind of organically posting, trying to get leads, or doing a viewing, taking a photo, just like what everybody does, and they preach today at these networking events or courses and whatever.
Yeah.
And the first day, like you jacked on the massively, like mate, you need to go to Dunoon. So you says to me, mate, you go to Dunoon and go speak to this guy. So literally, first day, I'm out in my wee template Toyota, like the wee breadwinner, and going to Dunoon, and somebody had messaged me the night before saying, "Hi Adam, I've been seeing your post. I seen your post, and I've got a house in Dunoon. Could you come and see it?" And I'm thinking, surely this must be the same lead.
Aye.
So it was just a bit of a coincidence, but it wasn't. And then I ended up going there, seen Sharpie at Park Road, and speaking to him, this absolute character. And that was like first day on the job, and I think he came with us because of the banger of a motor that was driving. He says that somebody's turned up in a BM and he's turned up in a wee Toyota. Like, he's brilliant. So, and then I went and seen that other woman, the woman's building site, who the builder was meant to be fixing it, and I just says, by the way, the place is a riot, and we ended up selling it to the builder and getting a fee out of it. So that was like my first day on the job, first self-gen, and it kind of just took off from there, essentially.
It's mad because what we're obviously going to speak about, we can double back into that first self-gen, the seller, and how she ended up becoming an investor as well.
So that's... So where the money that she made from that, so I remember she always says to me, she says, Adam, I've spent X amount on this, like including auction fees, and I really need to get 50 to clear my fee. I think she spent 50 on, and we managed to get 52 with it, with our fee and all that kind of stuff. And so it was a belter, and she had seen us as solving a problem, which is ultimately what sellers are always wanting.
100%.
We solved a problem, and I always remember phoning me going, Adam, thank you so much. Like,
it's a sweet feeling that when you do that.
And what do I do next? Can I invest with you? And I says, well, we've got deals we can show you. But I think she had kind of, maybe our confidence was doing a wee bit. So I says, well, you could always invest money with us. Obviously, we had a project starting. We'll just give you a fixed return. And she was like, that's perfect. And now she's been a return for that.
So we'll speak about that in a wee minute. But just sort of on you within obviously smart sales and everything else on flip number 3, like personal goals, like loads of having that sort of flexibility. Is that obviously something that you were mega interested in as well? Because that's what I got for you for like day one, and that's what, for my team building, like the team that I'm trying to build. It's not about just coming in and just doing a job. It's about like having an interest and having opportunities for yourself as well. So
I think ultimately in the back of your mind, like I always feel like I say this to people, or else like people are either in a job, and if they're at networking events, I hate my job. Right? Why do you property? I want to get enough money to get 10 buy-to-lets, 250 quid each, and then I can get 2.5 grand a month and then retire. But it doesn't work out like that because the bills are just a fortune, right? But it's like everybody's wanting to do property. Everybody's got these goals to build a portfolio. But in my head, I'm like, now especially, I'm like, why don't you just get a job in property? Like, you're actually going to enjoy every day, and you're going to get to walk the path every day, and you're going to get to find deals, you're going to speak to sellers, get these opportunities. Like, I feel like because I had such a big interest in it and so many goals, like I've never really wrote my goals down in paper to go, like, this is what I want. I would always like to get 10 buy-to-lets, and I'd love to do a flip project, and I've done 3 this year, but it's like, I feel like just being on the path of every day wanting to do it, it's kind of worked out massively for me.
I see that's something that I've took massively for you as well, because it's when you said that, it was kind of like, you're absolutely spot on, because so many people, obviously this industry is full of getting into property, it'll change your life, you can make a lot of money, but there's what's missing is it's fucking hard, and you need to start from the bottom, and you need to grow in it, and you need to grind, and it's still so doable. I'm not saying it's not, absolutely not for a second, but it's, you can actually like jump into a company potentially like here, or other companies out there doing similar, doing property investment, and actually work your way up a lot quicker and meet some of your goals that would maybe have took you a few years longer, just with the opportunities you're going to get in the network, you're going to grow bigger like instantly type thing,
I think like my goals were almost like on the back burner, because I knew I was ready just to go in for the start. I was like happy to literally take whatever wage, as long as I could get a foothold in somewhere. Like I told you when I started, so obviously I had my first buy-to-let, I had a home that I lived in. I sold the buy-to-let to have money to make sure I could support, obviously, my newborn baby, a household and everything. My missus on maternity, like my timing was just absolutely horrendous. But I was like, I'll sell that flat, I'll use the money for that in the bank, and then I'll just use that to live on if I really needed to, because I was going for 40, you know, to like just like or basic.
Aye,
And I was more than happy
aye.
to do that. You know, I mean, I was more than happy to do that. So thinking, right, I'll get commission at some point. But obviously,
that was one of the things that scared me, because I'd hired Alex, but it was different with him. When I was hiring you, it was like, right, there's somebody else now, and just that kind of you just feel a bit uncomfortable about the full thing. It's like, now I just know, like, I'm much more comfortable within what I know what I need, and I know who I need and stuff like that. But with you, it was like, I know I need somebody, I just don't know what. And then it was on this basic, and then it was like, right, I'm going to add commissions in, but I don't know when. And you told me what you were on that 40 grand, and I was like, what if he doesn't make anything like that this year? And I was dead nervous about that side of it, you know what I mean? So, and obviously you came in and done what you done. So, it's no, it's brilliant. So, obviously one of the biggest things the biggest impacts you've made in the business is the relationship that we've obviously formed in the partnership now with the Empty Home Scheme. So we're here in Kirkcaldy, which one of the flips, as I say, it's indirectly got from the Empty Home Scheme. So we'll kind of double back and just try and tell you a wee bit more in depth about how that's happened, how we formed that partnership, because the Empty Home Scheme is, if you're signed up to them, you know, you will get their emails, and it's just about kind of, you know, first of all, try to get yourself in there, showing that you're the right person to help that person, and nurturing the relationship. And, you know, there's a little bit more that goes into it than just that. But from obviously you getting that first email, when the email came through and Adam seen it, I had multiple of these emails before, and I'd tried, and you know, it's one of the ones that just, it got away from me. I had other ways to make easier money. Adam ran with it, and what we've got off the back here has just been unbelievable, really. And obviously the icing on the cake has been the partnership that we're now tied in with. But obviously bringing these empty properties back to life, being able to help these sellers, which is definitely the sweetest thing about the full thing. We are obviously making money off the back of it as well, but it's been some journey. It really has with this Empty Home Scheme. So kind of just going back to the start for that, you know, when you first got that email and this relationship build and onto the Ninja air fryer flip, as you'll know it, just tell us a little bit about that sort of journey.
I think so. Obviously, getting that email like everybody else, I think there's like thousands of people like on these emails, and that initial contact with them is just so pivotal on how that's going to go. So obviously, just gave her a phone and spoke to her. Like, this is what because if I just say, oh, I want to buy it, I want to put this offer in, take that to them. What I've learned now is all these sellers in the Empty Home Scheme, they're empty, they're really in bad condition. That's probably a sensitive subject for the person who's selling. So they're looking for the right fit who's going to be able to handle the kind of transaction of that property. So that initial conversation with them was like what they really needed. You know, so I think my hard work, my drive and everything else with like the business model kind of paired together.
Mm-hmm.
It was almost just like the perfect combination for letting me go, right, where'll we answer? And then when initially, so that's the person who owns the property is going to get in touch with people who can potentially help them, but there might be 1,000 emails. The Empty Homes officer might only put through 3 or 4, and then it's whoever does the best, or else whoever she speaks to first. You never know, it could just be a luck. Yeah. And then what happens on that phone call, you know, speaking to that seller, I remember her actually crying, just going, I can't believe that you can do all this for us. Mm-hmm. And like we presented so many different options, and ultimately it came to like us buying the property for them. You know, it didn't have a door on it. It was like literally weight like above these couches and rubbish. And you can understand why it was a sensitive subject, but that was a problem. We you know, proposed a solution, and they were more than happy to kind of roll with it. And obviously that's kind of rolled into other projects as well.
And then just as we were saying before, your first self, Jen, that relationship you built with her, she's ended up investing into the Ninja.
So when we obviously so I think obviously going back a wee bit is when I had my money for my buy to let, and that was just to pay for my bills if I needed to. But I ended up picking up the commission pretty quickly because like I was out finding deals, speaking to everybody and their granny on Gumtree or else Facebook, like, are you selling that Hoover? What about the house in the background? You know what I mean? So like stuff like that, and I managed to, you know, keep getting these deals, co-source deals, and finding my feet with that. So that pot of cash I had for my first buy to let, that was going, right, I can maybe use this for something. And then when that presented itself, I was like, well, why don't we do this? And then obviously the relationship for the woman in Dunoon, she invested with us, so we told her, like, by the way, we've got this project starting, sent her some photos and all that, and she was like, right, more than happy to go with it. And that was only like the first one, 8% return, so I think we gave her like $2,500 back, which was good. Obviously,
she just put the trust in you and us, didn't she? And what we were doing,
and she's came back on again, like
exactly.
she's almost
for this one,
for this one again, so she's more than happy with this, and I just get that feeling that she's just going to be keep going again and again and again, because it's probably paying for a holiday every year for her and her wains or whatever it may be.
It's just amazing. See, sometimes when you think about, there's so many examples of this, but just that one sort of us, you with that self-chain, selling a house, investing in Ninja, investing in this, smart home improvements are doing an extension.
I know, I know.
Mad how,
it's growing like arms and legs.
100%. So obviously going back to the Ninja, then that was the first one we got. Formed a relationship, really sensitive subject and sensitive situation, I should say, for the owner at the time. So I was just trying to navigate that full situation to be able to, because like ultimately, and I do want to say this, it's like we're solving a big problem for the seller. We are property investors, we're property developers, we're property people. We do make money from property. There are opportunities for us, but there are opportunities also for us to help these sellers, and especially when you've got the empty home scheme that have put you forward, it isn't all about you. As much as you're going to do well, if you can negotiate it and do what is right for them, you will win out the back end, but it's all about them, and it's all about how you're going to help them initially. So, talk to us just a little bit about, getting that secured, that relationship, and then, on to what we've done to place.
I think so. My initial call, but as I say, is like she was upset, like crying and all that kind of stuff, because she was just, it's a sensitive subject. And then obviously more kind of relief that she knew there was somebody there who was happy to take it on, because a lot of these people don't really think people won't touch it, but if you put that out into the group chat, everybody and their granny's going to put an offer in on it. And I think when I was speaking to her, I think we were laughing in the office about it. Like, we gave her an offer, and she says, I'm happy with that. I took $2,000 less. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, do we offer that? Do we really offer that? And she says, I would have took $2,000 less. And we were like, you know what I mean? But so, she even just after the back of that, like, so she actually told the empty homes officer, like, I'm happy for you to tell people about this full thing, put it out there, because I want people to know, like, how much I've been helped. And see, like, the empty homes officer getting that feedback about what we've done for her, she's clearly, like, no-brainer for letting me do it again for somebody else. Like, it literally couldn't have got any better. Like, I went up, meet up for coffees, gave her a few texts sometimes, like, she'll text me out how he's getting on and all that. So it's like, that relationship's always going to be there. Yep. And, like, this what we're in just now, this is her friends. Exactly. Because she's had that good like an experience. We, like, didn't take advantage of the situation. We gave her what she wanted, and everything just kind of fell into place nicely, and it's kind of led into that's also grown arms and legs. Yeah.
And obviously off the back of the Ninja, we get nominated for a Empty Home Scheme Award. So we were second out of 2.
As a fix.
It's terrible, should have won that. We all went all buzzing to the awards and all that. Just we had it in the bag, didn't we?
I was gutted they didn't do the rewards till like 3:30 or something like that. We were left at 9 o'clock.
Oh, it's funny looking back on that, but that was a good day nonetheless. But so even to get nominated for an award for the Empty Home Scheme, which you don't realise by how much of a big deal this is, and how much they actually put in it, how much work goes in behind the scenes with these Empty Home partnership, because there's staff in all different councils, and they're all very passionate about what they do, and I can totally see why now, obviously, with the situations that we've seen and the projects we've took on and stuff.
I think it's probably a shame that they don't, like, kind of lean on investors more, because let's say there's like 45,000 empty homes in Scotland. I think there's like thousands up north, but there's definitely investors who would be happy to fund projects. Also, they need to work for them as well, but it's almost like there's this
a lot of hurdles.
There's like loads of hurdles that it's like red taped, and they can't even attempt to do it because it'll break the guidelines or whatever. But if they probably just accepted investment or else offloaded it onto investors, there would be a lot more back in already.
Yeah, definitely. So Ninja went so well, done well out it. 15% over home report we got as well, which is brilliant. Nominated for the award, loads of social content and stuff that we could actually show people, look, there's properties out there like this. We've helped this seller out, and this ultimately got us referred to the owner of the Ninja's friend, which is where we are now, Kirkcaldy. 3-bed upper cottage flat. I keep going on about this. It's got a driveway, it's got great storage, it's got 3 beds, it's got a big garden. It just ticks every single box you can imagine. So yeah, I mean, just this one again, it was quite a delicate situation again, a little bit.
Aye, so this the owner of this, it was her sister who passed away and left her the estate. So I think it had already went through the whole process with the solicitors and all that, or else we were just at the tail end of it. But again, that was just like me kind of building that relationship. And the Ninja aircraft like sellers, like she says, Adam, like she is like a real like hard rock. Like she's hard to break down and all that kind of stuff. I remember on the phone to her, and it's like I was kind of a wee bit edgy speaking to her in case I says anything, in case she just like hung up. But now she phoned me last night. I was like, how's my auntie and all that? And she's like, oh, brilliant, how's the wains? You know, it's like, and the seller of the Ninja, she always go, Elaine loves you, Adam. Like, she loves you, it's why the answers. But again, it's that being able to come down to people's levels and, you know, like speaking to them and just kind of building that relationship. And then also, we got that at a good price, but it was a price that she's more than happy with. You know, she's been on like 4 holidays since I spoke to her, or since we sold this, you know.
Brilliant.
But aye, so this one's been another really good one. It's came off the back of the Ninja. And obviously, a bit delicate. It was a sister who owned it, passed away, so already there's been like a death that you need to kind of deal with and kind of act accordingly with it, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And then obviously going on to the next one that we've got. So obviously last week I think we've done a walkroom with the Property Coaching Network members, and we've called that the phone booth house. So again, it's in terrible condition. We obviously put a wee bit in social media once it's complete and stuff like that. So again, just another one where the partnership and what we can do, and obviously how we've proved what we can do as well, is worked obviously massively in our favour, and it's another one we're going to just bring back to
I think
life.
It's really, really rare for anybody to get one from the empty home scheme, but to be able to get 2 in the space of 10 months is unbelievable. It's like, if you put it into perspective, like the Ninja was empty for well over a year, this one was empty for over a year, and the phone booth's been empty for over 5 years. So like, I know it's like we're going to make money from it. It's like they're good investments. It's going to be like a good return and all that. But it's also something getting back into the local communities.
Yeah.
They've been empty for such a long time. So we're also providing like the service like the council can't really provide.
Yeah. And all the neighbours and stuff like that, it's always been positive about, you know, us bringing these houses back to life as well, because they're eyesores. You know, they're...
Aye, I know, and definitely.
So it's good. It's a total win all round for everyone. So I mean, we'll probably do another podcast about the phone booth, but I mean, it's just to highlight, you know, the opportunity is there for everybody to try and get some of these, you know, projects, opportunities from the empty home scheme. But just that journey into forming that partnership with them, it's been brilliant. So obviously, biggest thing for me there is just, I've said this before, I feel like in property, it's just like your basic fundamentals a lot of the time, like on steroids, and that's like relationships. So you see, for this one, it's just these relationships that you're forming, we are forming with these owners, with these, you know, empty home scheme or whoever it is, how it can grow arms and legs. It's like, it isn't difficult. It's just, I don't know what, you know, for whatever reason, we've obviously done well out it, but that's it's just one of the fundamentals, is just building good relationships and just doing the right thing.
It's probably down to what you're thinking about at the time. Like, I feel like when I first started, I was always thinking, right, you're chasing the money. Sometimes, you know, it's like if I get the next sale, I'll get the next money and all that and whatever. But it's like, when I speak to these people, it's like, how do I help this person? Or else, and then the money will come from it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See if you're thinking about it in a certain way, you can also be thinking about the whole thing in the wrong way. You know, well, if I offer them this amount, I'm going to get X amount profit at the end. But it's like, if you just think about how do I help them, and then everything else is going to come with it, you know what I mean?
I put that in my story yesterday. It was, we got a couple of reviews, one for an assisted sale, the Glencroft Road one.
Aye, Cindy.
Cindy, and we couldn't sell our house. The roof was a free, there was a damp was a free. Buyer, lowball offers, buyer couldn't get lending and all the rest of it. And we went and done an assisted sale, and we structured something that she was going to get 50% of over a certain figure, and she ended up getting 8,250 more than what she agreed because of the way we structured this. I still obviously made money out of it. And then the second one was Jim at Scaraway. Buyer couldn't get lending, they opened their ensuite, daft extension out the back, the house was, it's crazy. And 2 reviews from them saying how much we helped them. Do you know what I mean? So it's about what they want at all times. And I feel like when I put the reviews on, and then the next story was like, think about what they want at all times. It's not about you. As a kid, you will win. Like, you will win out to anybody. You're going to make money if you can solve their problem. Is what
I
I'm trying to say.
think, see, if you're a traditional estate agent, more times than not, if you phone them up saying this has been on the market for 6 months, I can see that it needs X, Y, and Z done, I could probably offer a certain amount if I'd done it up and sell it. They'll just go, no, because it's not traditional. And it's almost like it can be a disservice because it's an exit that they could be getting that we obviously utilise.
Yeah. So, Kirkcaldy, the numbers on this, obviously, as we keep saying, we are going to make money out of it, right? So, they just talk us over sort of high-level numbers. Surveyors been out today. We don't know if it's going to be 105, 110. We're hoping 110. Standards obviously really good. So, talk us through them.
So, obviously, Elaine was one of the ones, a bit of a hard one to break down, but it's like she knew what she wanted and she was like adamant on £1,000 for a nickel draw. so we made sure that she got that. And I think also we paid, so 39 plus legals and then obviously £1,000 for the nickel draw. And then, so that's a 41 purchase price, 42.01 if you include the new legal costs.
Yeah.
We're at 35.5. It's worked out because we had the roofer and all that kind of stuff. And then we're not including the PM fee. We've got a PM fee to pay. So we'll be touching on like maybe 38k, which obviously great standard. End value, we're looking at 105 definitely, but hopefully we get the 110. So there's going to be a decent bit of profit in it there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. What would the rent for if we did?
I don't think the rent's that good. I think the rent's like maybe £800. I know you're like, it's £3.5.
No. Past that was just a moment. So good numbers. But I mean, pretty much it. The sort of takeaways for me for that is obviously the relationships and the following up as well. I feel following up is absolutely critical in everything that we're doing. We've also got quite a strong. I'm a money bastard waiting there. If you've already got your phone days, but it's just a massive thing in this industry and property. If you've got leads, especially if you're spending money on ads, just make sure you're following them up. But no, that was brilliant. So anything else you want to add? Anything else you think?
No, it was just good today. Like, you know, that was first one, so it was really good. Obviously, just kind of talking about everything I've done in the past kind of 11 months, and obviously, I think before this I was a wee bit kind of, I don't know if I want to do that. A wee bit imposter syndrome, thinking like I've maybe not done enough to even speak, but it's good to just kind of do it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. So more people obviously know about your background, your story now. If they ask me, I'll just say, listen to this podcast. So that's brilliant. So yeah, the Property Coaching Network, if you want to find us, obviously on Instagram at Property Coaching Network. If you want to follow this one, if you want to see the ninja, if you've maybe not been following us, also the phone booth that we've just bought, David_Smart_Property on Instagram, Adam_Williams_Property, same thing on Insta. Follow Property Coaching, as I said. But thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the next one. So for the YouTube viewers, we're just going to do a little walk around just as a wee sort of bonus for you and show you what we've actually done in here. So I had to ask Adam what that floor was again. What was that again?
It is Protec LVT Clicking, and it's a sand colour.
Right, aye. So that if you're interested, where do we get it for?
Wholesale Flooring Direct, I think it was.
Wholesale Flooring Direct. So it's a crack. We've done this in the last sort of 2 or 3 flips that I've done. We've put this exact same floor in. We've not really changed our style, to be honest. We should maybe change it up, but it's working for us. So herringbone all the way through the living room into the hall. Wall colours.
Yeah, we went for Goose Grey. This was recommended by my mum because it was trending on TikTok. So she done her kitchen in that, so I thought we would copy it as well.
It doesn't actually look grey at all.
No, it's like the lightest colour of grey you can go, so it kind of falls into a beige type colour.
Yeah. Staging, we had Ross McMillan from Home Sales Stagers is the guy that we use all the time for the staging, never lets us down, really fair with us as well. So yeah, it's been a success, every single project. I don't think he's done one that we've not actually went over home report with, so happy days, Ross. The doors, she's just cheap Howden doors. I think they cost about 20-30 quid a door. Went for the chrome handles, obviously getting them fitted as well, but it's not massively expensive for internal doors.
I think we were looking at the wooden doors, but the wooden doors, like the pure oak ones, are like 100 quid a door. So then when you do that, you get them fitted and everything else, you're coming into like £200 per door. So it's such an expense.
It's these wee things, they look the exact same as the doors that Adam's talking about now, but they're a little bit lighter. but they're absolutely, they do the job, do you know what I mean? So the shaker style kitchen that we've done, we went sort of back to a sort of black handle, black sink look that we've not really done for a wee while. A lot of people say black's out there now and stuff like that, but I mean, this is, in value of this, hopefully 110. You know, this is all the stuff that's kind of going to be in for this sort of market, I feel, anyway.
Aye, so shaker style kitchen, we went for the dove grey again, and that's just to kind of complement the paint colour essentially, and it does go well. You know, we've used this one before and it worked magically, so we thought we'll just kind of stick to what works and then go for it again.
We also installed gas central heating in here. We've got an iMini. Is that an Ideal? iMini too. Just a kind of mid-range boiler. We got it for quite a good price. So yeah, brand new gas central heating installed. There was a gas box already there, which is obviously half the battle with dealing with utilities. So it was just a kind of install, so it was ideal. The bathroom, probably my favourite room in the house, to be honest.
Aye, no, definitely. So just kind of splashed out a little bit on it, went for the porcelainosa tiles. So literally floor all the way up to the ceiling and kind of all the black trimmings as well. So the place does look great.
Yeah. The bedroom carpets, again, I think we've used these carpets last couple of times.
Aye, so we use the same person for them. We probably got the same price. He says like you couldn't give anybody else the prices that he gives us because he gives us such a great price. But on the last one that we done, we went for something a little bit darker, and I really didn't like it in the photos and all that kind of stuff. So we went for something a lot brighter, and it's definitely paid off. This is like the brightest colour we could have went for.
That's nice. So that's All-Star Flooring, Gibby, who'll be joining the network soon, actually. So he provides all our carpets, great price. Again, same stuff. The bedrooms are always just the same. There's no point in really getting into what we're doing, but a nice big storage. We actually toyed with the idea of putting a toilet in there, but that was just, aye.
Again, so just herringbone right down here. So as soon as you walk up the stairs, it looks amazing. Obviously, got the fresh carpet down coming up, and then the herringbone flooring into the hallway. And then this is the master bedroom. So just kind of replicates the other two bedrooms, apart from being a bit bigger. And aye, it's just a massive space. And even just getting this 3-bedroom house, you know, driveway, big garden. Aye, it's a flat, but it's perfect for families, you know what I mean, who don't mind with stairs.
Aye, big garden, driveway, 3 beds, storage. That's literally ticks every box for me. So aye, that's just a little walk round for the YouTube viewers. If you get any questions, any comments you want to leave, just leave them in the comments. Subscribe for us, and I'll see you in the next one.